Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another webinar primarily aimed at internationalization of higher education in India. I am honored today to be joined by two very distinguished guests who have been leading the charge in terms of internationalization, as well as in terms of making sure that higher education in India aspires to the highest levels of excellence. So Dr. Pankaj Mittal is the Secretary General of AIU, and Dr. Amarendra Pani is the Joint Director of the Research Division. Together, both of them bring significant experience and skill to this topic. They have led a number of initiatives, starting new initiatives. I don't want to talk about them because I'll let them actually talk about it in their own words. So what I'm going to do to start out today is to ask each of them to introduce themselves, but also introduce themselves in the context of a specific topic. And that would be, in your opinion, what does internationalization of higher education mean? And given your experience and your background, why do you believe it's specifically important as an area of emphasis for institutions of higher education in India? So Dr. Mittal, let's begin with you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Garbhari, and thanks for helping us out in many webinars and in many activities of AIU. So, good evening, friends. As you all know that Association of Indian Universities is the largest association of the world. We have more than 1,000 universities as our members, which includes Indian and foreign universities. And we are now 100 years old. We are celebrating centenary in this particular year. And we engage with the universities at the level of, say, vice chancellors, teachers, and students. With the vice chancellors, we hold a number of conferences, vice chancellors conferences every year. With teachers, we do a lot of capacity building programs for them. And with students, we engage in terms of sports, culture, equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees, and Anveshan, which is a research project program, which Dr. Pani will be telling in detail. So these are main activities of AIU. And when we talk of internationalization, we are, since last year, giving a lot of importance to internationalization. And at the national level also, if you are aware of National Education Policy 2020, which was launched on 29th of July 2020, for the first time I have seen that the impetus given to an internationalization of higher education is remarkable. So in this particular policy, for the first time, the government has allowed setting up of international branch campuses in India. So far, they were not allowed. For the first time, it has been allowed. And in the intervening period, we already have two universities from Australia, like Deccan University and Wollongong University. They have established their campuses in the Gift City in Gujarat. And just last month, a LOI was signed by Southampton University in UK for establishing their full-fledged campus in Delhi, Gurgaon region. So these are the intent, and there is an interest from many more universities to come to India. Apart from that, we are also, the National Education Policy also allowed holding of dual degrees, joint degrees, winning programs again for the first time. Because for many years, the foreign universities were wanting to hold joint degree programs with Indian universities, but it was not allowed. Dual degrees were not allowed, but now it is allowed. So now many universities, many Indian universities are having partnership agreements with the foreign universities, in which they are having partnerships in very many ways. For example, some are for dual degree, some are for research partnerships, some are for joint degrees, some are for twinning programs, some are for teacher exchange, some are for student exchange and curriculum exchange. Many forms of engagement are there. And apart from that, even the small things the National Policy of Education has taken care of, that is establishment of international student office in every university. Again, the policy has recommended that if you want to promote internationalization, if you want to have an international want to have international students on your campus, you must have an international students office. So that is something which is mandatory. Credit transfer is also now allowed between the Indian and the foreign universities. All this has been done with the view that internationalization is very important to improve the quality of higher education, to create co-learning spaces. We cannot be learning in silos, that's sitting in our own universities, in our own departments. We cannot be learning everything. So it is very important to collaborate with international institutions to learn from them. And I mean, both of the institutions learn from each other. Best practices of each other are emulated by each of them. The whatever is the, say, competency of one university is complemented by the other university. So co-learning spaces are created, and it is also proved, say through data also. Elsevier did a research that if you talk of field citation index, it is much higher for papers which are written in collaboration, especially with the international faculty, rather than the solo papers or the individual papers. So collaboration does help. Therefore, internationalization is very, very important. As far as Association of Indian Universities is concerned, again, we have become very active, and you know that India is a very diverse country, large country. We have different type of universities: good universities, bad universities, small universities, big universities, say remote area universities, backward area universities, rural universities. So the internationalization in such a diverse country is not uniform. So what happens is that the good universities, the best universities, they are into internationalization. They are even having international students. They are even having partnerships with foreign universities. But a large chunk of them, they want to do internationalization. They have an intent for internationalization, but they don't know how to do it, whom to partner with, how to find a right partner, what type of engagement should be there between their university and the foreign university. So to help them out, we have established a network called Indian Network for International Higher Education. The network is now open. It took a lot of time in establishing and deciding what is to be done. The network is now open. So in that network, anybody can be a member. Initially, the membership is free for everybody, whether it is an institution, individual, faculty, student, institution, any agency, everybody can be a member. And in that network, we are trying to, of course, do many activities like this webinar, having Edify Online, through which we are having international students, but international faculty. But then we are sort of committed to forge partnership between Indian and foreign universities through this network. So when both become the members, we will use some AI tools to find the right partners. That will be the initial step. But after that, there'll be one-to-one meetings between AIU, Indian universities, and say foreign partners, and the collaborations will be established. Apart from establishing collaboration and introducing universities to each other, we are also giving them, like, say, a foreign university wants to enter into India, either in the form of international branch campus or in the form of, say, dual degree, joint degree, but they don't know where to go to and which state in India to go to, because India is large. So we are also ready to do a entry report for you, that if you want to enter into an Indian university, what areas you should be venturing into, what geographical areas you should be venturing into, what disciplinary areas you should be venturing into. So all these things we are doing. Apart from that, we are also starting India immersion programs. India immersion programs means if a foreign student wants to know about India, but they don't want to have a full-fledged degree program or a diploma program, so they can come to India for an immersion program of 1 week or 2 weeks. That immersion programs can be specially customized for the cohort of students who are coming here. And that immersion program will be talking about the, say, culture of India, maybe yoga, Ayurveda. They'll be telling you, and we can also be taking the students to various universities of India, and they can know about various universities. I mean, India, we have 4 or 5 types of universities: central universities, state universities, private universities, public universities, deemed universities. So they can go to different universities to experience Indian education. They can go to specialized institutions to experience Indian culture, Indian yoga, Indian spirituality, peace, how to attain peace, how to attain mental peace. So there are many areas where we can be holding these immersion programs, and we'll be very happy to connect our, say, foreign students with those immersion programs. And uh, I suppose they'll be good. We'll be doing it in partnership with our universities. So under Indian Network for Internationalization of Higher Education, we are committed to promote internationalization by many ways, whether it is say partnerships or it is attracting foreign students. Because now AIU is also holding education fairs. We held one in Nepal, we held one in Vietnam, now we'll be holding one more in Sri Lanka, where we are trying to have a connect between the Indian and the foreign institutions in terms of B2B means our universities and foreign universities can connect with each other, and B2C means our universities can showcase their education to the foreign students also. So that part also we are looking into so that we can help the universities. We are also taking delegation of our vice chancellors to foreign countries, and then through that delegation, many partnership agreements are emerging. So a lot is being done, a lot is still to be done, and we look forward to having more such conversations. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Mittal. That is a very impressive list of the various initiatives that are ongoing, the tremendous work that is being done by AIU to make sure that the opportunities are there for Indian institutions and then also for international institutions to make sure that they come in the right way to partner with Indian institutions. So, Dr. Pani, I know that you have done a lot of work in terms of the research and the background that goes into making all this happen. Can you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what internationalization of higher education means from your perspective? You're on mute.
Thank you so much, Professor Karwari. And I'm really feeling honored to be here in this August forum to discuss something on internationalization, a topic of emerging concern and a very hot topic today in the educational landscape. I'm very happy to be in this August forum and more delighted that Professor Karwari is moderating this session. And as you posed a question to me, the concept of internationalization, the way I understand, let me give you a little bit of a background. In fact, in the 90s, when LPG was introduced, liberalization, privatization, globalization, and that was for the first time AIU started working on internationalization of higher education. And internationalization of higher education was grossly and hugely opposed during that time because of various points we know. We don't need to revisit those points, but that was there. So what happened? We organized a few roundtables to take the minds and ideas of the vice chancellors. How and what do they feel about going abroad and opening our frontiers of education borders for the foreign players? So just for the information, I can share there was a huge volume of resistance to go for international activities, especially looking towards the indigenous system of education, Eastern School of Thought and its features and everything. So somehow the recommendation emerged that we can partially go for internationalization without losing sight of the Indian ethos. Pointing the question, I just saw the question. The issue is that the entire concept of internationalization has been viewed of late in a more economic and commercial and market oriented line rather than the original spirit of internationalization. That is what repeatedly my perception is building up. Especially, I remember 2012 G20 meeting countries, they decided to promote and accelerate the education service export to various countries. And that was the point in one of the article of one of the very eminent international expert. He writes that the developing and underdeveloped countries, they were viewed as the markets for the developing countries. So my first focus, not my exactly, I can tell you because we represent AIU and our authorities, Madam esteemed Secretary General is there and Professor Binay Pathak sir, Honorable President of AIU are there. Our focus, collective focus is to sensitize people that the whole concept of internationalization should not be narrowed down only as a revenue earning mechanism, right? And students should not be viewed as only the agents or the people, those who bring foreign exchequer, foreign currency to our country. As an educational institution, as at least being in a legacy institution like AIU, which is now celebrating its centenary celebration, I can tell you, we have a collective responsibility of sensitizing people about the other aspects of internationalization. Basically, four aspects are there. The first thing is that is economic gain. Of course, it has received a priority. Second one is supplying skilled manpower to meet the requirements of the global industries. And the third one is synthesizing the knowledge, that is universalizing the knowledge and its application to the overall welfare of the human being. And the last point is preparing our students as the future citizens, developing better understanding about the concurrent challenges the globe is facing today in various forms. They you can say, so all these are the aspects we are focusing upon sensitizing the people. Then one word, sir, I will be using, which is dear to me, that internationalization should not be confined to elite class. There should be democratization of internationalization. In my language, or even if the NEP also says inclusivity. Inclusive internationalization should be given, should be promoted, facilitated in such a manner that it must bring inclusivity to for all institutions. Nobody should be discriminated. Nobody should be deprived of the opportunities. This is our focus. Therefore, what we are trying to do, we are trying to balance in between the policy and the practitioners. Policy and the practitioners. And there is a big gap of the policies and practitioners. For example, let me tell you a very open forum that in 2014, 2015, we organized a roundtable conference of the vice chancellors focusing upon only one area, that is internationalization. And even 2019 also, after Dr. Mittal joined as Secretary General, she joined in June and July in India International Center, we organized another roundtable. But our conclusion is that overall the speed, the way it should be accelerated, it is not happening. The expectation, as I said you from the beginning, the expectation of the speed about internationalization doesn't commensurate with the policy at the ground level. This is what the problem. So therefore, our first focus is to democratize internationalization, and no institution should be deprived because it is established in a remote or rural setup. So we need to overcome this problem. And for that, what we are doing, we are repeatedly organizing sensitization sessions like workshops, seminars, conferences. We are collaborating with other partners. As a madam has already given a great volume of the activities being organized by AIU. Specifically, I will be I will be saying that AIU is signing MOU with various international organizations like International Association of Universities. Then we have the Commonwealth of the Association of Commonwealth Universities. Then different association of universities of different countries. Then about the equivalence, madam has already spoken. The very idea of INHE, the very idea of INHE was to promote the internationalization by sensitizing the institutions. I am very glad to say that one of our recommendation, which was a structured recommendation, that was the outcome of both the roundtables, that is establishing international offices in each universities for counseling of the students, for facilitating the students' admission process and all sort of things. That has been accepted by the Government of India, and it has been included in the policy. And so INHE has been established, and a massive work we are doing under INHE. And regarding the researches, AIU maintains a database of the annual database of the international students in India. Till 2016-17, we have been bringing up the publications on various booklet forms, giving glimpse of the student number of student inflow to India and even outflow also. So that part was there. Then foreign degree equivalence we are doing. For that also, different network and different MOUs being signed with the different networks. And roundtable, as I have already told you, and we have been giving inputs for internationalization continuously to the Minister of Education, and the forum that has given us this opportunity to discuss, debate, and deliberate on the issues of internationalization. This is Edify Online. Edify Online is really an excellent platform, and we are trying to reach at our member universities to convince them that okay, technology cost and even the manpower and the resource persons cost might be there a little bit, but we need to reach out to the universities that the objective is not to earn the revenue, yeah, do something like this. The objective is to democratize it. That means reaching the institutions and the people, those who are still yet to be reached. In the recent past, we had sent at least 20-22 members, vice chancellors as a delegation to the foreign universities to examine, look into the issues related to internationalization. Let's welcome Professor Vinay Pathak, sir, Honorable President of AIU. Sir, with this, for time being, I conclude the first part of my talk, and I request you to please interact with Professor Vinay Pathak, sir, and let's now get to know his views on internationalization.
So, welcome to all delegates. Welcome to Amrendra Paniji and all other people and our Secretary General. I think this is the 100th year and the centenary of AIU. What I have felt in recent past, in last 1 year working with AIU and working with my university, that we don't have any other choice than making an internationalizations. I think today, whatever the geopolitical situations are in the world and what we failed to do in last so many years can be only compensated with the kind of internationalization we should do. We need diversity, we need equality, we need sustainability. But all those things can only come when, as a global citizen, we work together. We have got a lot of activities. Some continents are better in one, some continents are better in the other. If we foster all the continents and foster all the students together, and each of the universities becomes a global village or a global world, then I think the world will be in a better situation. So what I felt is that there are, like we say, that there are divides. So there are internationalization divides also. As we say, there are digital divides, there are economic divides, but there are internationalization divides. People move from poorer country to the other country for science and technologies. As we say that the US is the best in getting very, very international students in all the universities. Maybe African countries may be the worst not to get any international students from any places. And Australia, Canada, now Europe, everybody is trying for the internationalization. My feeling is that it's when we have to have some strategy, we have to devise something, introspect something, how to say that the university attracts international students or the students from the globe. As the university word itself comes from kind of a universe, but now most of the universities in our countries are becoming more and more local rather than global. We have to devise some strategy. My also feeling is that although these seminars are good for brainstorming, seminars are good for things, but until and unless we move forward and do something tangible, it will only remain in the seminars and the conferences. I think our person who is taking care of this global and internationalizations are here. Mr. Amrendra Paniji is here, so he will think, and he has actually promised us to devise new strategies of AIU for internationalization and getting this program. Coming to the Edify Online kind of a program, I feel it is also a part of internationalization. Although moving from place to place, which was 20, 30 years before, without these technologies of net and all other technologies, where we always felt that the internet has made this world a democratic world in true sense, that whatever information I have, same as with Mr. Pani, same is with Pankaj Mittal Madam, same is with all the people in this group. This means our information has gone to the last person. So today, why not to take this benefit of the people from the globe to the classes of the people who don't know them and they can learn from them. Getting new tools on AI, getting new tools on LMS, getting new materials. We can create the knowledge in a different way. We can create a knowledge in a collaborative way. We can create some knowledge as we see that like an aircraft, Boeing is made. A lot of parts are made in more than 100 countries and then assembled at one place. Why not our degrees can be like that, that people get knowledge from hundreds of corners and can make it at one place a degree. So the Edify is doing a work which is more ambitious. It has still to see a day of light in India. It has still to see that what kind of platform we have and what kind of things we can do and how it is taken by our stakeholders, means students. I wish all of them a great success. India is a very big country which has got very good ethos in the things. And we have said to the world in our Vedas also that Anu Bhadra, let the noble thoughts come from all sides. Let new ideas come from all over the world. And we are ready to accept this. With this, I wish a great success and I am here. My convocation is going so slightly. I'm busy, but I have got an airport, so I'm listening also this workshop. So I'm doing two works. Excuse me for that. But still, my last punch word is that nothing succeeds like doing. If we do and can do and will do and have achieved some tangible thing, then only I will feel that whatever we are doing for this seminar conference for last 1 year has actually given us fruits. Otherwise, it will go, all our energy will go in vain. And our main architect for doing all these things is Dr. Pani. And I expect that he will, in the 1, 2, 3 months, he will get something on this camera again in some workshop and will tell us that, yes, I have achieved that. And this is due to this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pathak. Dr. Mittal, if you don't mind, it's continuing the conversation. You've led a number of delegations to countries globally, trying to establish strong ties and collaborative programs. What are the 3 most important aspects that in your opinion we can learn from these international institutions regarding excellence in teaching and learning?
So when we go abroad and meet the delegations, we visit the universities. So there is a stark difference between the way we work and the way many foreign universities work. First and foremost is the infrastructure. The type of infrastructure they have and the type of infrastructure as well as the funding which Indian universities have, there's a lot of difference. And I mean, money makes the mayor go. So because in many of our universities, they say the budget of that, for example, we went to Barcelona University. So the budget of Barcelona University, one university, was equal to entire higher education budget of India. So this type of stark difference is there in funding, and they get a lot of philanthropic funding, which some of our institutions, especially IITs, are able to get through the alumni and all, but through the foundations and all, we are getting very less as compared to those universities. So one is in terms of funding and infrastructure. Second, I think the way we teach and the way they teach, it is entirely different. We are adopting mostly the lecture method of teaching. We now call it in the national education policy as flipped classroom model, in which the they give the material in advance, and in the class a lot of discussion happens, a lot of learning happens. In our case, we are teaching in the class, and the student is sort of revising or understanding or rationalizing at home. There it is totally flipped, means they give the lecture notes or videos and audios in advance, and in the class only this understanding and group discussion and rationalization happens. So the teaching pedagogy is different. Third, I think there is a lot of difference in, say, when we do research and they do research. So in their case, it is learning by doing. So most of the things the teachers means they don't do spoon feeding. We do a lot of spoon feeding. So self-learning is promoted in foreign universities, and in the research, the students are actually implementing those things, learning by doing, which is there in many Indian universities, but not to that extent in which it is there in foreign universities. So whether it is funding infrastructure or teaching pedagogy or the way we do research, so there is a difference. And when we go there, we do learn, and we also meet Indian students over there. They also tell us that when they came to the foreign country, the scenario changed altogether. The way of teaching, the way of doing research, the way they were mentored by their teachers. So there's a lot of difference. That difference is there. That is what we are trying to sort of learn through these partnerships. So when Indian universities and foreign universities partner with each other, there are some things which are very good in India, so they can imbibe those things, and there are something which we can learn from them. So the co-learning will happen once these partnerships are there.
Wonderful, thank you. Dr. Pani, you are specifically focused on ensuring success in the initiatives in internationalization. You mentioned the Edify Online partnership as one. Could you talk a little bit more about that partnership, as well as some other specific partnerships, and how other universities can join AIU in starting to accelerate this move for internationalization?
Actually, Professor Karwari, we have taken multi-pronged strategies. It's not one way or two way something, multiple strategies we are doing. Out of all those strategies, one is Edify Online, and under which we have created a cluster set of things. In fact, considering the cost in India, we thought it will be better to reach out the students of the universities where the people normally they are not in a position to reach out to the international faculties by reducing the cost, and just we are charging the minimum cost under this activity, because you have to manage the things, so therefore we are doing it. Our basic objective is to also help those universities, those who are not in a position to get the international faculty on their own. They do not have enough money on their you can say exchequer to spend for getting the international faculties. We want to help them out, and also we want to sensitize them about the concept of internationalization in various ways. It is not only, as I said you in the beginning, it is not only getting the students. We want to, in fact, collaborate with research activities. We want to have a teacher exchange programs, student exchange programs, and we want networking, and a lot of things we are doing under the Edify Online initiative. Last 1.5 year around, we have done a lot of programs like seminars, conferences, and this is a part of our monthly webinar we do on Edify Online, so that we want to reach out people. We want to proliferate the concept how they can join the UCPS and how it is going to help you. And therefore, what we are doing, our planning is to club 5 universities in one cluster and get their students. First, they get their commonality of their syllabus, and after that we will analyze those syllabus, and we will engage the international faculty to teach at a time to a huge number of students of those 5 universities. In that way, first benefit is the cost will be substantially reduced, number one. Number two, there will be a cultural exchange sort of things. Every university has its own culture of teaching, research, and everything. When the 5 universities are clubbing together and their students are in the same classroom and the teachers are also in the same classroom, that will definitely give them some insights about how the other universities are working in this area. Third thing is that in the classroom also, we plan to make the teachers to attend these lectures, because after the lectures are over, these will be the teachers. One second. These will be the teachers ultimately who will be taking the assessment related test and the assessments, everything, so that they will get to know about the pedagogy. They will get to know about the evaluation procedure, and also in the course of teaching also they can get some ideas ki the other university the teaching the faculty member who is teaching from other foreign universities, what kind of the trend areas of research they are doing, activities they are doing. They will get to know about this. And the most beautiful thing which I can fish out from the entire activity, and that is dedicated towards UCPS and Edify Online, is that, which I especially like, that we can reach at any university of a remote and rural area with the technology, which was not possible earlier. And one thing is very clear, Professor Vinay Pathak, Honorable President, has emphasized, and Madam Dr. Mittal has emphasized, that this is the era where internationalization has become one of the inescapable realities of the present times, and we cannot miss the boss. By any manner, we have to reach out people, sensitize them, and we have to achieve the objective. This is the particular focus on Edify and UCPS activities now, and we are also doing some research activities. We're also publishing some papers, how Edify will work and what will be the benefit. And I think in few papers of US and print magazine and at least 7 papers we have published on this. And before that also, on various core areas of internationalization, we have conducted massive researches also that gives us insight to work on the problems and to overcome them. Over to you, sir.
So thank you very much. Internationalization, as you have very aptly said, is very large, and there are a variety of different initiatives that can take place. One of the challenges that is there in a lot of Indian universities is talent. Having enough of the doctorally qualified faculty who can teach. I know that AIU is doing a lot of work in trying to make sure that you have seminars and you have consortia, not only on the international side, but even on the national side, to bring up that quality and to make sure that everyone is taken to the highest level. Can you talk a little bit about that, especially in the internationalization it's a perspective?
Can I get the question repeated, sir?
So the question is, there is need for new talent in India. We need more faculty.
Yeah.
And we need the faculty to be at the highest levels of excellence, just as they are at some of the top universities in India. But as you and I were talking earlier, there are smaller universities in India that are just starting that need to come up. Can you talk about some of the initiatives that you're looking at from an international perspective to help all of them?
That's what, sir, exactly. This UCPS, it gives the added advantage that when the university, see, in India, this is a very factually correct information that large portion of our young people are in India, and this is a demographic dividend. But the lack of opportunities is the major hurdle, barrier for promoting internationalization or giving them understanding or doing anything. So first of thing is that, as I said, you sensitization. Second thing is that not only we are bringing international faculty to teach in Indian universities, we are also doing other way around, vice versa also. Even the competent teachers of Indian universities in India also, as you said in the beginning, let me quote you that India has also got very good teachers. We have been taught, sir, by some of the excellent teachers of our time. So
Yes.
definitely we have very good teachers, but because of the lack of opportunities and avenues, they are not able to even deliver talks and teach in the international universities. So this program, UCPS, we are very objectively, I can say you that it is going to provide them a plethora of opportunity to also teach in international universities. What that will do, basically, see, we cannot confine the knowledge today to any region, any country or something. We have to break the cycles of the knowledge. We have to come out of this. And as Professor Pawar and Professor Pathak has very aptly said, that it's just like every corner. Now, much of the learning, sir, is happening outside the classroom. Classroom is a small place. It's a time-bound and a very rigid place. But much of the learning today is being taken place, and we are learning many things outside the classroom. So this kind of deliberations and the UCS programs especially, I believe it will present a very, very vibrant opportunity for the teachers for getting their skills updated, getting to know about the latest trends in education, pedagogy, trends of research, networking, collaboration, the strength areas and the areas of weakness that needs to be improved. All these things are envisioned to be included in the process of internationalization through the UCPS and Edify Online program.
Fabulous. We're coming to about the end of it. So before I open it out to questions, I wanted to ask you a very specific question. You have got immense expertise. You have been with AIU from a long period of time. You've seen the rise of internationalization. You've seen a lot of great efforts that have been made by some of the universities. What advice would you give to some of the vice chancellors and the leadership attending this webinar as to the things that they can do in order to accelerate and increase the quality of their own institutions through partnerships and through internationalization?
That's the one thing that will help all university to really accomplish the objective of internationalization is to build in-house capacity. Unless our teachers are trained to deal with international students, unless our entire system, sir, universities, as you mentioned very aptly, is a very, very complex system, and there are lots of challenges, especially the countries like India, even many countries of the South Asia, they have some inherent problems to overcome if they want to march ahead in the path of internationalization. First thing. So what they need to do is the internal capacity building, infrastructure. Suppose if we are aspiring to get more and more international students, then we need to provide them infrastructure, hostel facilities, counseling, and a lot of things we need to do, and easing their admission process. Even if universities also can help the students by collaborating or by establishing network with the government, universities can also help the students in making easy of entry through the providing the visa applications also. So internal capacity building is one of the most important area, and this is a vast area. Internal capacity building is not a small area. It is related to infrastructure, technology, and changing the pedagogy, revising the curriculum, and aligning with international requirements, and aligning with the global requirements, and moreover, sir, to really confirm the spirit of India, that is Udar Charitanam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We want to make this whole earth as a family, and we want to reach out reach out to everybody to really make this earth a good living place, and especially education can do that. And if we can educate the people about the people, culture, life, education, research, networking, everything, I think it will be easier for us to accomplish the objective. So internal capacity building is a must. And then only after in-house internationalization, we can look towards the foreign countries or international countries.
Tremendously powerful message, and that leads into one of the questions that I've been seeing. We're getting questions both on the question bar and on the chat, but one of the questions for you was, how does a university that has not taken advantage of AIU, how do they join AIU on this internationalization mission?
Is it for me, sir, or we can ask
So in general, if Professor Pathak is here, then it would obviously be very good to have him there. I'm not sure that he is free right now from his other, that's a responsibility.
Yeah. Actually, sir is in a convocation right now.
Right.
So simultaneously he also listening us. And may I request Madam Dr. Mittal to please respond to this query, and I'll be the last one to risk, or if you say,
I
then
think she is also out on something else. So it comes back to you, Dr. Pani.
Yeah, the onus lies on my shoulders, sir. So no problem. I can say you, sir. In fact, let me tell you, through social media kits, through channelizing the information by university news, our in-house publications, by organizing time every monthly webinars and sort of things, and even through personal contacts, reaching at international organizations, and also helping the university whenever we are getting any information. Suppose I am in touch with a few directors of internationalization of various universities. So whenever any issue comes out related to internationalization, they seek AIU advice. Then immediately we tell them that we have INHE, we have UCPS, we have a lot of avenues. You just come out of from your place and you join with us, then we can do that. Sir, we are trying really hard to reach out to all member institutions, and maybe our planning is that by November first week, we are going to commence the first course with 5 universities is in our cluster. But I am sure once the activity starts, and that insight and experience will definitely entice other universities, because word of mouth also sometimes spreads like a jungle fire, and no advertisement no notification can be better advertisement notification than a word of mouth. So, and we are trying to reach out our member universities, whatever the available channels are, and let's see where do we reach.
Fabulous. Another question that was there is, what can be done, in your opinion, to recruit more international students to India?
Yeah, sir, recruiting international student, we need massive campaigning now, because we have to market. We had PieHead, we had Copy. PieHead was promoting Indian higher education abroad. We had Copy. We had a lot of, in fact, actions we have taken as Government of India. One of the article in 2015, and this was, I can show you the forum, Internationalization of Higher Education, a roundtable report I had prepared in 2015. And we had in this report only, we had mentioned about the issues, various issues of internationalization. And finally, I believe that this activity has to be taken very seriously by the universities and even the colleges. They are also desirous of taking internationalization to their campus. So let's see how it happens, and how do we move forward.
Wonderful. One last question, if you don't mind. Lots of questions
Yeah,
coming
please,
for you. How can
please.
Indian universities showcase their own programs on the website, on the INHE website, to offer
In your
programs
website.
that they may have? Yes.
Yes, sir. We had written a letter under the signature of Madam Dr. Mittal, requesting all universities that whatever the scholarships you have in your campus, what are the recent activities you are doing, and your best practices you are doing on internationalization, and how your international office is managing the international affairs in your campus. All these related informations we are requesting them to submit us, so that we can put it in the site of INHE, and the Indian Network for Internationalization of Higher Education. Along with that, also, we have a close relationship with the associations like Commonwealth University Association, International Association of Universities. Then we have membership with, and even networking with GUNI and UMIR, NAFSA, FISU. All these international organizations are there. We are connected with. So we encourage our member universities that you see, be a better salesman. You have a lot of things in your store, but if you do not showcase those things, then you cannot be marketing the things. So we are requesting and advising the member universities that give us whatever the information, good practices in your campus. We will not only put it in the site of INE, we will promote it. We will also channelize this information to our member network of different foreign countries, reaching out to them. So that will give them added advantage, and they will be identified as a university doing good work in the area of internationalization.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Bani. This has been a fascinating conversation. My thanks also to Dr. Mittal and to Dr. Pathak. I know both of them had to leave a little early, but their expertise, your expertise, is doing a tremendous amount now for making sure that internationalization of higher education in India goes on the right track, and that India accelerates its progress towards being a preeminent power in terms of education as well. So thank you very much to everybody. I look forward to meeting everyone again in about a month, when we'll have a very exciting lineup of some things that India has been able to do internationally. I'll leave that as a teaser and hope to see you next month. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.